difficulties there. It kept thinking I was in portrait mode for some reason when I wasn't. I got Audrey right here, if you're wondering why I keep looking down at some point. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? And is the stream fluent? Let me know. I wish you could see Audrey too. Hold on. But it cuts my head off. I did shave my head, as you can see. Got that done. And I'll see if a couple other people come in, and then we can talk about Audrey and how she's doing too, if you want. But if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Let me try scooting this back a little bit so we can get both of us in the... try to get both of us in view here. Because she's needing a lot of my attention at the moment. Can you hear me okay? Hey, Val! How's it going? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, and if I need to turn off the fan or something like that. You can? Okay, good. And does the stream look good, or should I turn on Wi-Fi? I can turn on Wi-Fi if I need to. I'm doing good. I'm doing better now. You know, I was stressed about Audrey, but she's doing a lot better now. She's actually a little active at the moment, which is good. She went and drank water for the first time a couple days ago, so I'm really happy about that. Okay, if it gets bad, let me know, and then I'll turn Wi-Fi on, because I want to make sure it's easy for everybody to watch and there's no issues, since I haven't done a live YouTube in quite a while. I was going to see if a couple people tune in, and I can talk a little bit about Audrey, or if you guys have any questions or anything, or you just want to chat about something, just let me know. Just chilling. What is that weird noise? I don't know if you heard that. You probably didn't hear it. It's like, is that a pigeon? I don't know. Oh, my other alerts are going off. But yeah, look at Audrey. Yeah, she's still a little sore. And when I pick up, she still complains a little bit. She ended up having a lot more little wounds on her than I saw the first time I looked at her. And like the one really bad one that I saw on her paw, she actually had a bad one on her other paw as well. Which I can show you guys if you want to see it, but I don't know if you want to see it, honestly. Because it still looks a little rough. But most of the other ones were superficial wounds, but there were a significant amount of them. And we were trying to figure out, I was talking to the vet about it, because if anybody doesn't know, we had a really bad storm before I left town, and Audrey ran outside during a break in the storm when I was letting the girls out, my two dogs, and she snuck out and darted off, and then like 10 minutes later it started pouring down rain, and I was trying to get her inside and I couldn't find her anywhere. And so I had to come back in. I came back in, and as soon as it stopped, I went back outside again and went looking under, because I was in a neighborhood. I went looking under people's cars and on people's porches, thinking she seeks shelter somewhere, right? And I couldn't find her anywhere. And I went out searching again a little bit later, probably like 30 minutes later or something. And I was calling for it. I was headed back to the bus a little defeated because I hadn't found her, and I was worried, you know. And she was waiting at the bus door, so I opened it up and she jumped right in, and I noticed her back two paws were really, really muddy. And it was dark in the bus. I didn't have any lights on at the time, so I just dried off her legs. I thought she was just spooked, and you know, she went and hid, but it was still storming. Are you wanting to get up? Okay. All right. There she goes. It was still storming, so I figured she was just scared. Well, the next morning was when I planned on going ahead and leaving to Bloomington from Louisville. And so I was getting everything ready, because you have to prep the bus for moving when you haven't moved in a little bit. And I'm gonna drink my coffee too. So I was prepping all of that, and she, during the day, she just chills in front of a window anyway, so I didn't think anything of it. We left Friday afternoon to go to Bloomington, and get to Bloomington, and anytime we travel, she usually, hides until the following morning. That's just her routine. So she's drinking some water now. I feel so good that she's drinking water. But, so we got there, and I parked in the town first before we headed out to the middle of the woods. And she came out and she got some water. So I was like, okay, there she is, you know what I mean? But then she went back and hid again. Well, we went ahead and moved to the woods. And so the next morning I expected her to come out, because that's her routine, that's what she does. And she didn't come out the next morning. So Saturday morning she wasn't coming out, so I was a bit concerned. And I had some stuff I had to do Saturday. So, like Saturday afternoon, I tried to get her out for a little bit and take a look at her. My friend Autumn came over, so we were inspecting. We found a couple little small, because she was acting like the upper legs hurt her really bad. She was freaking out. She was like screaming. I'm not going to try to mimic that, even though I thought about it for a second. But she was throwing a fit, and she started trying to bite me when I'd touch her upper legs, And so we found a couple little scratches, it looked like, and stuff, but it looked fairly small, about an inch apart, which were weird. And we're trying to figure out, no, can we not scratch my chair, baby? Okay. See, she's feeling better. She's getting mischievous. But anyway, so because she was throwing such a fit, we thought, that's what it is, but it didn't look bad. It didn't look infected, it wasn't swollen or anything. So I just, we let her go, and she went back and laid by the back door and just stared out the window. So I thought everything's fine. She's probably just a little sore, nothing looked too bad. And, hindsight, yeah, I should have went ahead and inspected her entirely anyway, but, I felt really bad, and that seemed like the only spot she was complaining about. And she's trying to get in the window. But then, that next day, Sunday morning, she came out one time and then sat beside me by the front door here. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to inspect her a little bit more. And when I started looking at her, that's when I saw the back paw was slit from the claw all the way back to the toe pad. And it looked like something was like wedged inside of it. And so I was trying not to freak out, but I was a little, concerned, obviously, because anything on the foot is really dangerous if it gets infected. So that's when I knew I had to do something. So I got some recommendations for some vet offices in the Bloomington area, and of course they're closed on Sundays. So I woke up at 5 o'clock Monday morning, and I drove into town so I'd have a signal, because I didn't have one out in the woods. And so 5 o'clock in the morning I'm there, and I called the ones that were recommended to me, and they were like, sorry, we don't have any. No, I didn't use peroxide. I didn't use peroxide. I did spray a little Bactine on them, just to do something. I didn't have any Epsom salt or anything, which apparently Epsom salt is really good to soak the paws in, but I didn't have any at the moment, and I didn't know about that until later on. But so I started calling her, and apparently I spent 2 or 3 hours probably calling different vets offices in that area, and nobody does emergency. There's no emergency vets in Bloomington. And somebody said, one of them said that, I'll text you a list of all the emergency vets. And I was like, cool, thank you so much. And they texted me. They were all in Indianapolis, and different. They were all at least an hour away. And this is a big girl that I'm driving. And to give you an idea of diesel prices at the moment, $80 got me a quarter of a tank. So I was like, for me to go out of the way, that just, it didn't seem like a good idea, and there's no guarantee I'm going to get in when it's an emergency situation either, because there could be worse, cases. So I had to make the decision to come back to Louisville to do that, because one of my friends actually works at a vet's office, and they do emergency care, and they're open 24 hours. So I was like, well, that way at least I can guarantee that she's going to get in as soon as possible. My regular vet, you have to wait in line and everything, but they're not open 24 hours, so there's no guarantee I even would have got in that day at all. So I headed back as quick as I could. I think I got there at about 2:30 or so in the afternoon. And they got her in pretty quick. They thought it would be 5 or 6 hours. Ended up only being like 2.5 maybe that I was there, in and out, everything. So it worked out really great. They saw her, and they cleaned off all the wounds. They assumed she got in a fight with some small animal. And considering, like, most of the cats wouldn't be outside during a storm, like, even the street cats would be hiding usually. The only animal I could think of that would probably be out around that time would be the... What's my... Yeah, oh. I wasn't getting all the messages. But I'm thinking it might have been a raccoon or something, but... Because it wasn't anything really big, because the wounds were fairly small. But I was like, there are raccoons out here, and... I've seen raccoons out in the rain. They don't really care, and they can be pretty frisky. So I'm thinking that's probably what it was. But, I mean, there's no way to tell. But the good news is they gave, she was severely dehydrated. She had a fever. She had an infection. So I got anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, and they cleaned off the wounds and everything. And then they gave her some injection that actually helps with rehydrating her, which they said will also cause a little bit of swelling sometimes from all that, but that's supposed to start going down. she's being awfully cute. Hello? Hello? But I'm just so glad she's feeling better. But yeah, she's been on those antibiotics and everything since Monday. And it's Sunday now, and she just started, like, the last couple days, like, really getting out. And she tried to sneak out the front door a couple times. Yesterday she got out for a second. I had to go scoop her up really quick. She's been really sneaky about it. But yeah, she's looking a lot better. She's acting a lot better. She still hasn't been doing any random backflips or anything yet. I'm sure that'll happen, though, whenever those back paws are completely healed up. They're still, so they look... I don't know that I want to show you, because I don't know if you want to see it. I mean, if enough of you want to see it, I'll show you. The bill wasn't as bad as I had no idea, honestly. I had no idea how much the bill was going to be, because I didn't know if she was going to have surgery or not. They did have to scoop out the infection, which looked pretty gross. I thought they were going to have to stitch it because of that, but apparently they don't stitch paws, I guess, like the little toe beans. So I have to clean it with Epsom salt every day. But yeah, the bill wasn't horrific, but it was still a big dent in what I had going on. So because I was going to try to do some tattoos while I was in town up there, and that was the main reason for going. Plus, it's my birthday next week, so I was wanting to have some time off in the woods to, like, relax and, have a nice birthday week, because I've just been wanting to go camping. That's what I love to do around my birthday. That didn't work out, but I mean, that's okay. I'm just glad she's good. Everything happens for a reason, right? So maybe I wasn't supposed to be up in the woods the rest of that week. I don't know. I'm still doing my morning coffee. I've got to do, like, friggin' 6 cups of this to do anything. But yeah, that's a little update on her. She's doing great. She's, getting more active, drinking water now, so I don't have to put it in her mouth with a freaking syringe, which is nice. So I'm a lot less stressed about that. So thanks to all of you that sent, like, well wishes and you know, and the donations and all of that stuff to like help out with that. I really appreciate it because it was like a tough, stressful time. Let's see. I was trying to see if anybody sent any other messages. It's saying all the chats are visible, but they don't show. Oh, I have to touch over here on the left. I'm figuring this out. We'll get it together. But yeah, so I still have to do like a good soak and sort of just wash the paws off a little bit with Epsom salt once a day, and then she's still on the antibiotics. But yeah, that's, girl, get you some coffee. Get you some coffee, Val. Although this is mostly, I had to like, on like the 5th or 6th cup, I gotta start cutting back on the coffee a little bit, or I'm gonna be ending this live to run to the restroom. But yeah, I'm too lazy. I've got instant coffee. Talking about lazy. I've just got the instant coffee. I'm just heating up water. I can't do those fancy van life and Skoolie life coffee montages. It wouldn't be very interesting because it's going to be legit. Here's the water boiling. Ooh, watch me pour it in the cup with a scoop of instant coffee. It's not quite as entertaining. Rogan Star, good. They've had no issues. They're outside on the leads just hanging out, being cute as ever. They're doing great. I did get to walk them a little bit while I was out there in the woods and everything, and I do have some footage from that before I noticed how bad Audrey's feet are from us doing hikes and stuff. So I'm going to probably go ahead and edit that and then put that out. Oh! Yeah, get you some of that instant. You know, if you put a good, like, I don't know, soy milk or oat milk or something in there, it's not too bad. If you have some French vanilla creamer or something, it'll make it taste a little more fancy. But yeah, espresso is awesome. I used to whenever I would go to Starbucks back in the day, which now I've discovered, I enjoy Dunkin' Donuts. I tried Dunkin' Donuts for the first time when I was in Tennessee last year. And I was like, why have I been putting this off for so long? I think because most people, when I would talk to them and they'd mention Dunkin' Donuts, they were always just getting regular black coffee. And so I never even thought about trying it. But yeah, when I was in Tennessee, there wasn't a Starbucks, but there was a Dunkin' Donuts nearby where my mom was at. And so I went and tried it. I went in there and I was like, oh, you've got a caramel macchiato too. I'm about to try that because that was my favorite drink. But I always get like a quad when I would go to Starbucks. I'm like, give me all of the espresso in there because I was so used to drinking energy drinks that one cup of coffee didn't really do it for me. So I had to get a decent amount of caffeine in me. But anyway, this to say, Dunkin' Donuts, way better than Starbucks in my opinion now. I love it. It's delicious. It's my new favorite. Starbucks can go on somewhere. Plus, it's a little bit cheaper. Bonus. That's my little rant about espresso and coffee. But now, since I'm in the bus, most of the time in the bus, I'm just doing instant. So how's everybody else's day going? Anything interesting? Or if you have any other questions or anything, hit me up. Let me know. What you want to talk about? Oh, it's good. Trying to think, what else? I don't know if I'm going to do anything for my birthday week now. Don't do Dunkin' in Jersey. It's garbage here? Oh, no. Well, that's sad. I don't know when I'm going to make it to Jersey. I want to know, I've never been up that far, especially in a bus. I don't know how the roads and everything are on the way up there. Do I have to go through New York to get to that area? I'm wondering. What? Got almost $6,000 of gear stolen from your storage unit? Oh shit. Was that like, work gear? That's a hit. I do a large red-eyed, hold on. I do a large red-eye dark roast with 5 shots of espresso. A red-eye? Is that the name, like the brand? Red-eye? I've not heard of that. But yeah, 5 shots of espresso. Yeah, you gotta have that espresso, man. I could just drink espresso plain, to be honest. Well, yeah, that's why I was asking, Val. I was like, how are the roads up through there? I'm wondering, do I have to cut through New York? Is there a way to get there without cutting through New York? That's my question. Ooh, dive and camera equipment? That sucks. Oh, it's the name. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that yet. But if it's good, I might have to check it out sometime. But yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, do I have to go through New York? Because maybe cut through Pennsylvania and then like go down, I guess. Over through Pennsylvania and then maybe go down. Yeah, I'll have to look at the, it'll wake up. Well, that's what I need. Yeah. That's the whole point. I need the energy. Meanwhile, you see kids running around and you're like, man, why can't they wake up with energy? I'm like, where'd all the energy go? I've got stuff I've got to do, and I got to drink freaking 5 cups of coffee or a bunch of espresso to have the motivation to do anything. Oh, man. Look. She's just so cute. Look at this belly. Look at her leg. These back legs, I'm telling you. The poor girl had, like, she already had neuropathy in her back legs, so they do weird things when she's just sitting around. She'll always have one, like, out, just randomly. Have you tried the Celestial Seasonings Green Energy Tea? I haven't, and that's mainly because I don't know what it is. I see all these people drinking, like, green tea. I don't like the taste of anything with green tea, like, at all. And I love tea. I like black tea a lot, which has a decent amount of caffeine in it. So I'll drink black tea. I like Earl Grey tea. But, yeah, something about the green tea, if it says green tea on there anywhere, I'm just like, no, probably not. I don't know. Hey! Instant espresso in your Aunt Epiphany mug. Sweet! Yeah, I need to order some more of those mugs. I've got to find... Because I'd like to... So I bought those individually from a company, but I need to find one that I can get some kind of deal on to get, like, a larger order. But right now, Patreons are the only ones with the mugs at the moment. But I want to do some other designs too, and so I think there was some confusion on my post on Patreon. I've got the canvas prints. Do you want to see the canvas prints? Or do you want it to be a surprise when it comes to the mail? But I've got a canvas print that replaces the one that Patreon mailed out, that there was an issue with the way it looked, so I went ahead and went through a different company and ordered the canvas prints. So I do have those. You want to see it? Okay, I'll show you. Just uno momento, por favor. bus is very small, so it doesn't take long for me to go to one room to another. So there's that. Alright, I'll show you what this looks like. And then I was wanting to get some like other little things made, and it ended up costing a bit more money than I thought. And that's what I was talking about, because like I was wanting to do like a gift package type thing when I mail these out to you guys, but everything costs a little bit more than I thought it would, and didn't get a great deal if I ordered in bulk. It was still like a good amount of money. Okay, so here's the canvas print. So it's got a good, it looks a lot better. And then I'm going to sign it too as well, and I think I'm going to send a little note with it and all that, but yeah. Can you see it okay? It's pretty good quality, thank goodness, because I paid a little bit more money. I think the other one was just on like a thin sheet of paper, and I was like, no, I appreciate you guys so much. I wanted to get you something a bit more solid and well made. So I wanted to get something on a canvas print, just because I think that, I think this is just going to be a lot nicer and hold up a lot longer. So I'm glad you like it, Val. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? And then you have this, so it's nice and solid. You'll be able to just hang this up without having to worry about any kind of frame or anything. Thank you for your rights. Thank you. But yeah, that's a design I made, and then, yeah, so that's that. And then I might end up, I don't know, I'm starting to wonder if I should just not go through, it was convenient to go through Patreon, like their own thing, and then like they'd mail everything out for you. But considering I've had issues with some of the quality, I don't know, I'm starting to think it may be better for me to just go ahead and get the things made myself and then mail them out. That way at least I know the quality is going to be good that you guys get, because I don't want you to get something that's not good quality and then you're like, oh well, because I don't feel like it shows how much you're appreciated, you know, and I really do appreciate all you guys that, and it's I just got a notification saying there's 3 Patreons now, or 3 patron members, but my app doesn't show me that, so I'm gonna have to get on, so whoever that is, I apologize. You're going to be in the next video credits. But yeah, my app doesn't show me the names of the patron members unless they like message me or comment on something that I've posted. So I'm gonna get online and go to the website, and I'm gonna see who that is so I can get in contact with you and everything. Yeah! Have you ever tried Redbubble? Hold on. Redbubble or something like that. Redbubble. Oh yeah, I've heard of Redbubble. I haven't tried Redbubble. I haven't tried them yet, so I don't know. Do they do a little bit of everything, or is it just prints? Because I've heard the name, but I'm not 100%. But, yeah, I'm going to start working on some other designs, too, and I am really thinking that I might just cancel the automatic send-outs on Patreon and then just do it myself, and then plus I can just send you all, like, random little goodies and stuff from my travels and everything, too, since I'm getting really close to that point. Water and, the water and the AC is what I'm working on right now. I've got some, the reason the water's not running at the moment is because I want to just take an extra precaution and get the stuff that I installed underneath for the water tank. I just want to go ahead and get that welded as well, just to be safe, to make sure it's not going anywhere, you know, because like anytime I go on like these back roads and everything and they're really bumpy, it's just, I think I'd feel safer if it's also welded, so I'm working on trying to find somebody that welds to come in and do that, and then once I get that welded, I can go ahead and start attaching the rest of the gray water lines and then test everything out and have the water. The AC, I've got somebody talking to that's willing to help me hook up the lines to make sure there's no leaks on my mini split, and then after that I'm just going to do some research and figure out how to pressurize the hoses and everything. There's a vacuum pump and hoses that I have to buy, and I think that's going to be about, because I've got the 2-unit one, it's going to be about $180 for the pump, and then like another $60, I think it was, for the hoses with the gauges on it. So, I'm going to try to do, hopefully I can do some tattoos at some point soon, so I can go ahead and order those things to have, because once it hits 85 or higher, it starts getting pretty warm in the bus. So I want to go ahead and have that AC hooked up and everything for when I do head out, because, yeah, it's, no. They do lots of things, and I think you can just upload your artwork and select what you want. Well, I'll check it out. I'll check it out and see, because right now I've just been, like, comparing prices and quality. So, like, sometimes I end up paying a little bit more, but that's because I want it to be good quality. So I'll check it out and see, and maybe get a couple of, like, sample pieces. But yeah, but I wanted to go ahead, if you haven't already and you're a patron member, go ahead and send me your address in the inbox, or whatever address you want me to mail it to. It doesn't have to be, obviously, P.O. Box or whatever you want it mailed to. Just send that in the inbox so that it's private still, and then I'll go ahead and send out these prints to you guys. So make sure to do that so that I can get those sent out to you, so you can get those soon. And then whenever I, you know, get the money and everything to order the other little surprises that I want to send you, I can just do that separately as well, and that'll probably be more of a surprise. So, yeah, just make sure to give me that information so I can get this out to you. Beep. Yeah, I'll check out Redbubble later, probably today, actually, because I just want to know. But yeah, you guys like the shaved head? I do. It feels cool. It just got too hot. I shaved this off Friday afternoon as soon as I got into the camp spot in Bloomington. It was a little muggy. It was a little muggy, and my hair was like a mess. And like the roots were showing, and like the green was fading out anyway, and my hair is really, really thick, and I was like, I messaged my friend, and I was like, yo, Autumn, I'm thinking about shaving my head again. And before she even messaged me back, I was just like sitting there, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, and it feels so much nicer. I was like, I'll let it grow out again, like, when it starts cooling off, you know? It is better for the heat. My hair's too thick, dude. Even with just the strip of mohawk, it's still really hot. Thank you! Was it Retribution? What are the tattoos on my head? So this is a raven with, like, I believe he has 3 eyes. And so his tongues are more like tentacles. It might be a little hard to see. I don't know how much my hair is growing in. But then there's a coloring crown that's on fire. There's a little flame up there. Can you see all of it? So that's that. And then on the other side is my great white shark. I hope you can see that okay. I can't see where my head's aimed at, but this one hurt really bad. Can you see it? Give me a little yes or no. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that really well. But yeah, this great white shark took around 8 hours to do. I said, you know what sounds like a good idea? Realism on the side of my head. Sounds great. Compared to this one, which, you know, obviously there's not as much coverage, but this one was like, I think, total 4.5 hours or so. And technically, the great white shark still has a little bit to do, technically, but I mean, she got all the shadows and reflection parts like in there, so I mean, it still looks finished in my opinion, and it hurt really bad. This was set like a champ, yeah. That's funny. I actually cried on my head on this one. Not this one, but I legit tears of... It wasn't tears of pain at first, it was tears because of this weird spot that makes you tear up. But there towards the end, I believe that those were real tears of pain. But I still did it. I ain't a wimp. I still did it. I just teared up a little bit. Meanwhile, like this thing, I thought the front was going to be the worst. So I was like, oh, we'll start with that. We'll get the worst out of the way. And then we'll be moving on to the sides, and so it won't be bad at all. We'll just get the worst out of the way, and then it's gonna... I was wrong. Wrong. This, look, I did not take into account that, how tight these muscles are on me. Like, this right here, just constantly tight. And, so when this was all gone over, it just felt like, I don't know if you've ever got your wrist done, but how you get like that burning sensation on your wrist when you get your wrist tattooed. Way worse. Way worse than that. But I didn't cry, but I laughed maniacally. And there's some video footage of that somewhere of me just like, every time she would stop for a second, I was just like, yeah! So that's how that one went. But it looks... I'm super stoked about it. Victoria did a great job on it. It looks awesome. Don't bother asking her for a throat tattoo, though. She's no longer doing them. This was her one and only, she said. But I love it. I think this is my favorite one. This is my second favorite one. Third, I don't know. Maybe the space monkey. I'm not sure. You know, you have to just want it bad enough. That's really all it is. And if you want it bad enough, you'll sit through it. But if like it's not something that you're like really wanting, yes, okay. This is what I tell people now. This is what I tell people now. If you want to get your like neck tattooed, especially like anywhere back in this area, go and get a deep tissue massage, but you've got to do it like, I'd probably do it no shorter than like, do it at least 4 days before. You don't want to do it like anytime like closer to your appointment than that, because it can release different like toxins and chemicals, like stuff that's built up in your muscle tissue. It can release that into your body. So yeah, if you are going to get that done, I do recommend a good massage, but do it about 4 or 5 days beforehand. Yeah, exactly. Realism sounds great until about 4 or 5 hours in. Yeah. And then you realize we're almost halfway done. The reality slaps you in the head. Hi, Audrey. Okay. Well, she's jumping. Mama. You can come back over here? Yes. Yeah. Hi, Audrey. Yeah. Say hello. She's like, no, I'd rather not. I'm so glad you're feeling better, though. Come back over. Yeah, this is the only realism piece I have. Is the one on the side of my head. Well, no, I take that back. This too, but this one's going to have to be gone over again. This one's also supposed to be like a sort of a realism piece. It's based on a painting by an artist named Brian Viveros. and it's really, really freaking cool, and I love it. But she does need a touch up at some point. But besides that, that's the only realism I have. It does take a lot longer to do realism. Yes, 100%. 100% she does. But she's sweet. She just, she can have an attitude if she wants to, but usually she keeps that under control. She didn't used to. She used to be quite crazy. Little mean. But, I think that's because, she was dumped in the middle of winter. That probably would make me pretty cranky too. But yeah, she's gotten, over the years, she's gotten a lot more well behaved, I'll say. A lot more chill. She's got a lot more chill now. When I first got her, because somebody dumped her in the front of the shop, the tattoo shop I was working at, in the middle of winter, and it was snowing outside, and I would go outside to smoke, and every time I went outside to smoke, I see this kitten, walking around in front, and I was like, man, did she, get out or something? Because she had a collar on, and then I went and took her in. For the first week, she just seemed appreciative. The second week, she decided to see what she could get away with, and she got a bit rambunctious, and at one point, just was chilling on the bed while I was getting dressed and jumped on my face like the freaking face hugger. And I had to, slowly pry her claws out of my head and neck. But she doesn't do that anymore. She's good now. Yeah, they always got a little bit on your back. Realism on my back and elbow sucked, but I keep getting more. Well, that's what I say. That's where I was getting at. If you really want it, you're gonna do it no matter how much it hurts. You'll get through it if you really want it bad enough. But if you're not super stoked about it, for one, if you're not super stoked about it, don't get a tattoo. If you're not super stoked about the idea, just don't do it. That's when you have to worry about regret and stuff. As long as you're really excited about it, then it doesn't, you're going to love it no matter what. But you'll be able to get through it if you're really excited about it. She's just being so cute. So cute. Look at a hair in your eye. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. You want it bad enough, you get it. So is it your whole back? Have you got a big, realistic back piece, or is it just started a little smaller on your back? I still gotta get a cover up on my upper back. And it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. Yeah. Yeah. The back sucks though. You have to want it bad enough to sit through it. You have to meditate through that, do what you gotta do, and you gotta freaking meditate through that pain for as long as possible. The left quarter. So yeah, that's still a good size. Is it gonna be all one big piece? Is it gonna be all attached, you're gonna hook it all together? Yeah, you have to want it bad enough. But yeah, it's the part of my back that I've got to get covered up starts a little below halfway, and then it ends at the bottom of my shoulder blades. That's about the size that needs to be covered up. Oh, sleeve connect. Cool, yeah. Yeah, I like those pieces. Those look cool. Yeah, I want to eventually have all of mine connected, but we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to get the more painful areas done first, which pretty much at this point means that cover up on my back would be the next piece to go. But I'm not, I'm looking forward to having it done, but I don't know who's going to do it yet, because not everybody loves doing cover-ups, and to find somebody that's going to do the style and everything that I want on there, might be a little tricky to find somebody that meets all of that criteria. Well, yeah, I only have a small tattoo on my shoulder there. It was my first tattoo. Yeah, well, the reason my back hurts that bad, and I can't speak for everybody, the reason mine hurts that bad is because my back was broken when I was younger, in the middle, in the very middle, and then at the very base of my spine in two places, and it just healed up on its own. So the issue in the middle of my back that I'm going to have covered up is that one of the discs occasionally, like my muscles, because my ligaments got torn and everything during that, and so those ligaments and everything will knot up really bad, and then they'll actually pull on my spine. And when they do, one of my discs actually like bulges out a little bit. So when that happens, to like go over that with a tattoo machine is horrific. So I have to make sure my back's in a good place before I go to start get that done, and I have to be with somebody that I can explain that to, and that if I say that it's getting to a point that that's that bad, that we can skip to another area. So I gotta have somebody also that is willing to work with me in that, and as long as they, which most people would be fine with that. Most people aren't total assholes and they'll work with you. But I did have an issue with it was done the first time where she didn't listen to me and she hit that spot and my nerve was jumping. And I told her, I was like, okay, because it was getting really, really bad. And so I said, just skip to a different spot, you know what I mean? And give that a break for a minute so I can gather myself. She did it for about 2 seconds, and then she went right back to that spot, and when she did, I literally jumped out of the chair because my nerves couldn't handle that drastic amount of stimulation in that area. So it's very important to tell your tattoo artist if you have any issues in an area that you're getting tattooed, like pain-wise, nerve-wise, because of whatever reason, tell them ahead of time so that they can be prepared, and try to plan, like, if they may have to skip around or something like that. They can plan for that. And make sure the person's totally okay with working with you, because if not, you might jump out of a chair or something, or you might break a table, and that's not going to go over well. So as long as you tell them ahead of time, they're going to be more likely to work with you in that. So make sure to bring that up if you have any kind of issue. But that's the reason the back is bad for me. Like, the rest of the back isn't too awful. It's a little tender, but it's not too awful. It's just because of my previous injuries. That's why mine's bad. So it might not be bad for you. You know what I mean? It might not be that bad. Spring and summer theme with Victoria. Ooh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I mean, you have there's areas of the back that no matter who you are probably going to be a bit tender. Like this little area that's like right in this. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Whatever. This area is going to suck. Like, that area down in there is really tender skin. On the spine itself, it's probably going to suck a little bit. But it's going to be worse for people that have injuries, obviously. But I think, once again, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure, and you communicate with your artist, you'll be able to get it done without any issues. I mean, you can do them in sessions. So, like, if the pain gets too bad, but, you got to make it worth the artist's time if you do have to do it in smaller sessions. Because that setup's not cheap. Every little thing that they use adds up. So you have to make sure that you're willing to sit long enough. So communicate with your artist, say, hey, I have trouble sitting, what's the smallest amount of session that we can do at a time, and then get the amount of money for that, because the setups, and everybody uses different equipment, so the setups are going to be slightly different cost, but it's not cheap. So as long as you communicate that and say, okay, well, we're going to do at least this amount of time, can you sit for this amount of time, and then make sure that you do your best to sit. I mean, obviously if you can't, you tell them, that's fine. But you just have to communicate all of that stuff with them. It's very important. Because, you want to make sure that everybody's getting their time's worth. You don't want to have to take a break every 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, if it's that bad, try numbing cream, communicate. Well, make sure your artist is good with that too. But you want to, if they're good with numbing cream, try that, you know. You can do a Bactine soap once the skin is open and has been getting tattooed for a while. You can do like a Bactine soak or a Vasecaine soak for about 15 minutes, and that'll help take the edge off. There's little things we can do during the tattoo to try to make it better, for you to sit a little bit more comfortably. But every artist is different, so you just have to ask whoever's doing it. Oh, nice. That's sweet. Get their wedding portrait. That'll be cute. But yeah, realism, you definitely want to look at some portfolios for sure before you choose that artist. You want to get somebody that you know you've seen their work. Because especially when it's like family members and stuff, you want to make sure that's done really well. My artist is one of my closest friends, and I made the mistake of saying that he could make it as big as... Dude! Yep. Because, we get excited. We get excited. If somebody says, oh, you have creative control, and doesn't specify the size when you're talking to them about it, and yeah, we tend to get carried away because we're excited, which is, it's good because you want your tattoo artist to be excited for what they're tattooing on you, because you're going to get a better tattoo that way. But yeah, you have to specify size or we get carried away, for sure. Because we're like, ooh, but we can also add this and this. Oh, you know what would be really cool if we did this? And then you end up with a really huge piece because we are in the zone and we get really pumped about it. So yeah, you definitely have to specify size ahead of time or we will definitely get carried away. And especially if it's one of your friends, yeah. If any of my friends want to get tattooed by me and they don't specify size, we're going big. That's just how that's going to work. One of my friends from art school does amazing portraits, so I'm going to him for it. Oh, they do tattoos too? That's freaking cool. Because tattoos are different than drawing, so I was just making sure. Knew it would make his day. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure he was pumped the entire time then, which is awesome. But yeah, seeing your tattoo artist excited, you know you're gonna get a good quality tattoo about it. Oh, that's awesome, Val. Well, hell yeah then. That's good. You already have somebody like ready to go then for that. That's really cool. Yeah, you want to make sure it's done really well, especially when it's family member portrait. God, I know we've all seen those. We have all seen those portraits. You know, where somebody tried to get a family member and somebody said, oh yeah, I can do portrait tattoos, and then, oh man, they put black outline on the teeth or something. It's so sad. I feel so bad for those people. I'm like, oh my god, could you imagine thinking you're getting a good, like, memorial piece or something from somebody, and then they finish the tattoo, and you go to look at it in the mirror, and, like, oh, their teeth are all outlined in black. Oh my god. Ugh, I'd be so sad. I feel bad for those people that got that done to them. That's why I'm like, yeah, realism, please. Please. Yeah, it's good that you know them. You know that person. So you know you're going to get a good tattoo. Audrey's half asleep right now. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay on here, just depending on if you guys have more to talk about. We'll chill a little bit longer. Say hi if you haven't already. Thanks for joining me on this live stream. I appreciate it. And if you just tuned in, you can ask any questions or any comments or anything, and I will answer them for you. We talked about Audrey and Audrey the Bus Cat and what she's been through earlier on the stream. So if you are just tuning into the stream, you can hang out now and then rewind, or you can go ahead and back it up, whatever you want to do, and find that information out if you're interested in that. My TARDIS was a cover-up of a tattoo that Oh, you instantly hated it? Oh. But the TARDIS is a cool tattoo. And it is, like, that would, because of that dark blue, and there's a little bit of texture, it would do pretty good at covering up, I would think. Just depending on what it is. But that's an instant regret tattoo. That's so sad. I feel so bad for people when that happens. I never want anybody to feel that way. I would probably die inside if I did a tattoo on somebody. It hasn't happened yet, thank God. Where's the wood? But I would feel so bad if... But, like, I try to communicate everything with my clients beforehand, and even while I'm doing the tattoo, to make sure that they know what's going on, and that they're happy with what I'm wanting to do with it and everything. So I try to communicate all of that, but I haven't had that happen, but I would probably die inside if somebody, like, said they hated the tattoo that I just gave them. Because I usually put so much into it. Because I just really want people to be happy with something that's going to be on them forever. It's like a huge responsibility that we have doing that. I need my ass tattoo needs completely redone. Oh, no. Completely redone? Your entire ass? All of it? Oh, no. Parts of the butt are sensitive. That under cheek, that under cheek is really sensitive. If you're talking about the entire thing, that under cheek is woo-woo, it's spicy. About the only one you regret. It's like the main part of the butt didn't bother me. It was that the under area right there, because that skin's a lot more sensitive. That spot bothered me a bit. And the tailbone. I got surprised with a tailbone blast. That's not fun. That lights you up entirely. Don't recommend. Do not recommend. Sadly, my first 3 tattoos all sucked and came from the same shop. I was young and I didn't know any better. Yeah. Yeah. Was it like a shop that was close, probably, or something? So it was convenient. And if you've never been in a tattoo shop, like, I remember the first time I went into a tattoo shop, I was 18, and I didn't know anybody that had tattoos. I had seen 2 twin boys in my high school that had, like, the barbed wire tattoo. You know, it was a bunch of farmers, pretty much, that went to my high school, right? It was in Hardin County. And so the only tattoos that I ever saw were those 2 farmer twin boys, and they had that barbed wire tattoo going around their arm, and I remember going, why? But, so when I was 18, I was just like, I want to get a tattoo. I didn't know anything about it. Yeah, at all. And, I just Googled, tattoo shops near me, and I talked one of my friends into going with me, and, she went with me, and she felt so awkward in there. And I didn't know what I was doing. I legit just flipped through the book, you know, the flash book, and was just like, this looks cool, and just got that. And it was, look, in my defense, at the time, it was called a lower back tattoo, okay? 2 years later, it was called a tramp stamp. Not happy about that when that happened. But that was well before I started tattooing or piercing or anything. So I didn't know. But anyway, it wasn't even dragons, alright? It was 2 snakes coming in and facing each other with wings. And a little emerald in the middle and some freaking tribal coming out. You know? Once again, I didn't know what was going on. And so, yeah, that's covered up now. That is covered up now. But I can totally sympathize with that, because especially if you don't know anybody that has them, you've never been, and, like, and back then, there weren't even, I hadn't seen any women doing tattoos. And so it was a bunch of like biker looking dudes that are covered in tattoos, and it seemed very intimidating, and I was really nervous, and I just said this, and then I just covered it up, I think. So that was when I was 18. I just covered it up like 4 or 5 years ago, I think now. Good grief. But I'm really glad I covered it up. But that's the only one that I've regretted as well. Like, and it wasn't really that I regretted it. I just knew it could have been better, So it wasn't really a regret, but I was like, this could have been better. So we covered it with something better. And Amber Banana Fish did that, and she did a really awesome job. Oh, okay, small. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, it's one of those goof tattoos that are like the lawn mowing man, stick person, and stuff like that. It's like something along those lines, but for the butt. Yeah. That was, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was close and really popular. So yeah, you don't know, but I mean the thing is, why was it popular? Probably because it was close to a lot of people, and that's who they knew. But now that we're older, we can know better, and we can look at people's portfolios and talk to people that they've tattooed and try to, get a better quality tattoo now. Tribal cross was your first. I've done a lot of tribal crosses on people. So many. Yeah, we make mistakes. I don't know that I would say it's dumb. But like I feel like this is the case most of the time. Like, at the time, you make the best decision that you can with the information and experiences that you have had, right? And so you just didn't know any better. It's not that you're dumb, it's just you don't know any better at the time. Based on your life and your experiences, you made the best decision for you at that time, because you didn't know any better. But that comes with, with time and, experiences and everything. You learn, hopefully. The dudes at the shop I went to were all assholes. That was the case back in the day. One of the guys was making fun of me for humming along to their music. Well, that person just sounds lame. Because let me tell you what, I hum and sing out loud during all of my tattoos that I do and get done, depending on where it's at. Obviously not my throat. I wasn't really humming or singing for that one, or my head. But yeah, that's lame. That's just somebody that's boring. Boring old cranky man, probably. When I tattoo you, you're more than welcome to hum along and sing the music. As long as you don't move during the tattoo, that's all I care about. Have fun. I am pro fun. I do happy dances when I eat, and if you don't like it, you can go to another table. You know what I mean? Inspected by the Department of Agricultural Stamp. It could have been a number of things, but I wasn't expecting that. That's funny. I need to get my mind off the pain. Yeah, exactly. Whatever helps, man. As long as you don't move. You know what I mean? As long as you're not moving the part of the body, like, you can sit there and, like, hum and stuff without moving anything. Now, people that are on their phone, sometimes they get a little carried away with their movements, and they don't realize, like, if you move your shoulder, you're moving your entire upper body. You know what I mean? They did make these things that I saw that I feel like anybody that gets tattooed and wants to look at their phone should get, because if you do, I know everybody's probably seen, if you're on TikTok, I know you've seen it at some point if you follow any tattoo stuff, where somebody's tattooing and the client's on their phone and they're scrolling and then they drop it and they go, no! And they jerk for it and then they get a line on their forehead. That could really happen. We would all hope not, but it could, because I've had clients jerk to try to catch their phone. So anyway, this thing that I saw, it wraps around your neck, and then it's got a brace on it right here, and then a thing to hold your cell phone. So you can just be laying back and it holds your cell phone right here in front of your face. So you can like have a movie or, you know, you can have like Netflix or YouTube or whatever on and like be watching something. I don't recommend still doing this. But if you can do it with that thing on maybe where you know you're not going to drop your phone and you're not moving anything else, then it'll be fine. But we don't want to risk you dropping your phone and going, oh no! Then you're forever with a line on your face. Or your arm, or your leg, who knows. Or an extra line across where they're like, well, we're going to have to get a little abstract with this tattoo now. You know what I mean? But yeah, those things are really cool. I don't know where you buy them at yet, but they are really cool. I recommend investing in that. And I believe that all tattoo artists will agree with me in that I feel like everybody that feels like they should watch something needs to get one of those things. I wish I could give you more information. If I find it later, maybe I'll put it at the end of my next video or something. Just like, oh, here's the thing that I was talking about in my live if you tuned in, so you don't drop your phone. Oh, we've been on here an hour? What? Well, I guess I'm going to be getting off here then, unless anybody has any other... You have anything else you want to talk about, or questions or anything? Sounds kind of like a VR setup. Yeah, except it's not like an actual, like... It's more like around the neck, so it's like a... It's like a headphone, right? If you have a headphone here, but then it has an extra piece that comes up a little bit and out. And then you can just put your phone in there. It's pretty neat. If I find it, I'll put it at the end of my next video or something so you guys can see it if you're interested in that. Oh, are they really? They're sold at $5 Below? Well, boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. If you got a $5 Below, go check that out then. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I also enjoy it. I just recently started buying really outlandish button-up shirts that look like I'm a tourist. And I sort of love it. I've got a couple more. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I dig it now. I feel like I'm ready to just have a, you know... I don't do mixed drinks very much. What's a cool mixed drink? Quick, somebody. I feel like I'd be on the beach drinking a Mai Tai? Is that one? A Mai Tai? Or a Corona? You know? Maybe a Corona? A whiskey sour? I don't like whiskey, though. I definitely... Even mixed with anything. No. No whiskey for me. That's bad news bears. No brown liquor for me. Yeah, no, me too. I love colorful, but... Plus, if it gets really hot, you can just open it and just have the sports bra so you get some ventilation in there. It's really nice. And I think it's supposed to be 80-something today, so it's going to get a bit warmer today, so... Yeah. What's not true? I don't know what's not true. I don't know what's not true. But anyway, yeah, I guess I'm gonna get off here because we've been on here for like a little over an hour. But if you guys enjoy doing the live and you want to do it again, let me know in the comments. Please give me a little likey and subscribe if you haven't already. And, Jameson and pickle juice? No. If I'm on the beach trying to chill, I want something girly and sweet. I want something sweet and delicious. I don't want anything sour. The guessing, you just haven't had the good stuff. I don't do whiskey at all. I've tried many a type of whiskey, and bourbon and brown liquor is not my cup of tea. It doesn't agree with me in any way whatsoever. Picklebacks? I don't even know what that is. Don't even know what that is. But once again, we're sounding sour, and I'm not into it. Telling people you don't like whiskey to people in the bourbon area. I'm sorry about it. Sorry, not sorry. I don't like it. I'll tell everybody. If it's one thing, I'll be honest with you. If it hurts your feelings, I'm really sorry. But not only do I not like the taste of bourbon, but it severely disagrees with me to the point that if I take one shot of bourbon, I will throw it up immediately. It's not good for anybody involved. If you're near me, you're in the danger zone. It's just not a good idea. Am I coming near Chicago to do tattoos? I mean, I'm sure I will at some point. I just have to, my girl is 32 feet long. So, I have to figure out the parking situation, before I can say for sure what areas. So, like, worst case scenario, you may have to, like, meet me slightly outside the main part of the city or something like that. It's mainly finding parking. So, like, it's going to be a lot of planning for me. Plus, there's safety issues that have to be considered. So, a whole lot of planning. So, I'm going to try to figure out the best way of trying to get everything organized in a safe way, as well as, that's the main thing, to be honest. And then, also trying to figure out where the most clientele are, so where the best areas are for me to do it, and then I have to find parking near that area. I'm gonna try to talk to a couple other, like, business owners and see if they can help me figure out, like, the best way to go about, like, I know I can tattoo and make a decent amount of money to make it worth the travel to. So those are two main areas at the moment, and that is Louisville, Kentucky, and then Reno, Nevada, right? So they're on completely different sides of the states. So then what I have to figure out is, in between those areas and around those areas, what my best clientele sources are going to, where those are going to be located, and then where my parking is going to be and everything. So, nowhere is safe in the downtown area next to Soldier Field has RV parking. Yeah, and so anytime, like in Louisville, for example, there's a few RV parks and stuff, and very few free camping areas. Actually, there's no free camping areas besides, like, even the Walmart near where I'm at now doesn't do free parking. So it's pretty hard to find. The issue with RV camping areas, or any paid, like, if it's paid dispersed camping, that's one thing. Maybe I could tattoo people out that way. But, like, RV campgrounds and stuff like that, you're not really going to be able to do business in those campgrounds. So, like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of me figuring stuff out. This first year that I start, like, traveling and tattooing is going to be a lot of figuring out what works best for safety and to pay the bills and the diesel and all that stuff, and try to get people tattooed. So the first year is going to be me really trying to get all that stuff tightened up and figured out. So you're going to have to bear with me while I do the best I can trying to get all of this together, trying to get people tattooed. Because this is a new thing, not hard, like, nobody's really doing it, so I gotta try to figure it out as I go. Driving around the bridges downtown might be tough too. Well, I mean, I've drove on a lot of bridges. The issue is that occasionally, yeah, the height has to be a consideration. Luckily, in Louisville, you can, there's not that many that are, so basically I can't do any bridges that are under 13 feet. Most bridges across the U.S., most bridges are 13 feet and above. So I have plenty of clearance. I say plenty. I have 6 inches of clearance, which is enough clearance, right? But occasionally there are some bridges in, like, New Albany area and stuff, I've ran into that, where they're like 12 foot 6 inches. That is the height of my bus at its tallest point. So that's also a thing, but I don't run into that issue as often. That's a pretty rare issue on purpose because I did research beforehand and saw that 13 feet was the most common clearance. Most bridges are good for that. Yeah, 13.6 for most bridges. Yeah. So my bus at the highest point is 12'6", so that I should fit under pretty much any bridge. But like I said, in New Albany, there were a couple of bridges that were 12'6", and so I wasn't able. Like there's a supply company out there that I go to get supplies sometimes, and I couldn't get to their shop because, but they are moving now, so I'm going to be able to get there. But in that area, I wasn't able to get to the shop. Oh, nice. Yeah. Somebody said I could get a truck driving app that you can put in the clearance and everything that you have. But the one I've only tried to download one. I haven't spent a whole lot of time on that yet. And but you have to be a professional truck driver, and they ask for a bunch of information. Excuse me. So I wasn't able to actually use that one. So I don't know if there's a free truck driver app that I can use where I can put in the height where I don't have to put in that I'm a professional truck driver and can just use it. If there is, please let me know, because I would love to have that. That would be a little less stress, because at the moment, whenever I am driving, I always have to look for those signs for the bridge clearance, and some places don't have it. Like, there were a few places out near, like, Seymour and Bloomington, where I was driving on some of those back roads, and they don't even have the height of the bridge posted, so, like, I'm just creeping up on it, like, looking, and that's a little nerve-wracking. Especially if they don't have a place to, like, turn around for a bigger vehicle. So that happened a couple times, but luckily I had clearance to get under those. But it was a little scary. All bridges should have the height posted. All of them. I don't know why some of them don't. That should be a requirement. Oh, yeah. Well, somebody told me, sitting on your window while looking at... Yeah, pretty much. My dash. Just on the front of my dash, looking up like that, like trying to figure out, like, is it good? I don't know. But, you know, I was like, I need a camera on the very top of my bus to make sure. Yeah, I was at a truck stop, and one of the truck drivers came over and was asking me some questions about the bus, because he said he was thinking about doing, there's a lot of truck drivers that have been thinking about converting school buses, apparently. I've ran into quite a few when I was going cross country. But he said that and I should have got the information from him, but, like, I didn't. I was preoccupied, but he said there were truck driver apps that they all use now, and that there are some that I can use. It's just a matter of me finding which one I can use without having to put in that I'm a professional truck driver and asking for a bunch of information. Yeah, look, which sucks if there's cars behind you, but, like, the other option was to, like, if it looked too close, for me to stop the bus, put the air brakes on, get out, and then, like, look at the bus. And, like, if there were two people, that would be a lot easier, because I could just creep up on it and they could, like, watch. But since it's just me, it's super. It's a pain in the ass, really, to, like, stop the bus, get out, go look at the bridge and that, and then I might have to scoot up a little bit more because I can't really tell how tall it is for sure until I get right up on it. And then by that point, you got to worry about backing up if it is too short. And like I said, some of the areas don't have areas you can, like, back up and turn around if you're too big to fit under the bridge, which I also feel like should be a thing. I feel like they should always post the height and have an area for, like, somebody to back up and move out if they have a bigger vehicle. Because there's people with RVs, too, and a lot of these RVs are really flipping tall. And so if you're not posting the height, then a lot of the RVs will be using some of these back roads, too. They're going to have the same issue, you know? Trucker Atlas. I'll look into that. Carry a 13.6 stick with you. Where am I going to put the stick? Where am I going to put the the stick, dude? Where am I gonna put it? There's no, there's no room for a 13.6 foot stick in the bus that would take up the flooring. I'd be tripping over it all the time. Or I'd have to store it on the roof. And then I'd have to climb up on the bus to get it down off the roof to then stick it up. Yeah, but I mean, it's a bit unrealistic, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, I can't see myself doing that. That's a lot. You know? Yeah, even if I put it on the side of the bus, I'm still gonna have to get out by myself, take it out. It's a whole thing, because it's gonna have to be secured really well. And then I have to go do that. You imagine traffic behind me and I'm out there with a freaking long-ass stick trying to be like this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's too realistic for me. I appreciate the thought, but I see that being more trouble than it's worth. Because most of the time, it's not an issue. It's very rare that I get to a bridge that's not marked. It does happen, but it's rare. Yeah. Well, they try to play with any stick. But I mean, if it's on the side of the bus, yeah, they're not going to get to a stick. But the stick's not. It's not going to be realistic, because, like I said, it's just not it's not often enough that it would be worth me like making mounts on the side of a bus for a really big stick. It's just not. It rarely happens. Most of the time, it's not a problem. It's usually those really small towns. That's usually when that happens. Do you want to say hi? I love you. Yeah, okay, I put you down. See, she's still a little cranky sometimes. Yeah. She's still not 100%, but she's getting there. You been scratching my box? No, scratching my box, please. Thank you. No, ma'am. Alright, I'm back. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get off. We've been on here like an hour and 20 minutes. Which is awesome. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in and everything and chatting it up with me. I didn't know how this was gonna go, but I'm really stoked that you guys came in and wanted to talk a little bit and had some questions for me. The back part of the Atlas, hold on, has low clearance. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out then. Because it'd be nice to have that, just for when I'm in those small town areas, because that's mostly when that happens. Low Bridge Tattoo Shop, we shut down traffic for our work. Oh. Thank you so much. Everybody have a really great Sunday. I hope you guys chill and just have a nice relaxing day. And I think it's time for me to make something to eat. And then figure out a game plan for the rest of the day. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I'll be releasing a video this Sunday that's going to be some of the footage and stuff that I took before Audrey, I found out how bad Audrey was. But thanks so much. Yeah, you too. Thanks, Val. Thanks, Phoenix. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Patreons, make sure to send me your address in the inbox on Patreon. And I'm going to catch you guys next Sunday, all right? Have a great weekend. Mwah!